Mm, So these are just some exercises to help improve shoulder mobility. And the important thing is to remember to just take it gradually. I'll give some progressions to get to, like eventually more like a full range of motion. But of course, if it hurts, then stop. Don't strain the shoulder, and bit by bit it will build. So um, these are just stuff that I do to warm up, and then some warm ups, and then some exercises, some postures that you can incorporate. Like once you're warmed up, you can maybe do these postures. Okay, so let's start off. So first of all, um, so these are exercises that hopefully will help you to restore your range of motion. Important thing to remember is, just warm up the joint first before you do any like, the fuller like postures, like held postures. And of course, anything I give, do according to your condition. So if it hurts, then maybe back off and then do it very gradually until you feel up to doing like more movements that are more that exercise a full range of motion. So just do it bit by bit. So I'm not sure what the condition of your shoulder is. So I'll just try to give as much as I can, basically. Okay. So, all right. So first of all, it's always good to just move joints in different ways. So maybe start by shrugging the shoulders up by the ears and dropping them down, and then slump them down. Okay, so then next, um, just maybe little rolls of the shoulders, if that's okay. And then forward. Okay, so now arms out to the side. Actually, they can stand up here. So bring both hands together and turn to one side, twist to one side, and then come back to the center. Go to the other side as far as you can, but keep your hips forward, facing forward, up to the front, to the side. And so you can do these as many times as you want. I'm just showing the movements here. And then back. All right, so next, maybe take hold of the opposite elbows here. And then if you can, bring them up as high as you can. So maybe it only reaches to here in front of the forehead. Eventually, maybe try to get them over your shoulders and back. If even it's just here, then that's okay. So just bring them across the belly and then up to the shoulders. And then gradually you can maybe move a little bit higher. And as you go up higher, drop your shoulders down, keep your neck long. And actually maybe you'll be able to move them all the way up, drop your shoulders down. And then as you increase, as you get even more able, you can drop your shoulders down and push them even back behind the head. And back. So again, do slowly, do according to your abilities, and then you can just increase that way. So another one is with a strut. So you start with your hands quite wide, or like a belt, whatever you have. So you go up and then back as far as you can. So maybe it just starts off like, again, here, and maybe eventually goes up higher, and maybe eventually you can go all the way back. Okay. So then eventually you might be able to take your arms all the way around. So this one, especially when you're going forward, be careful. So bend your elbows a little bit, engage your shoulder blades as you're coming up and over. Okay, so up, you need to bend your elbows, push your shoulders and shoulder blades together and back. So again, keep your arms very wide. So again, keep this maybe towards the end when you're getting much more shoulder mobility, and then flex. Okay, so bend your elbows and come back. Eventually, you may be able to walk your hands closer. Bend your elbows again and back, and then eventually you move your arms even closer. Okay, so, and don't force it. So if you can't get over your head like this, then don't worry, just do one direction. Going backwards is easier than going forwards. Okay, so then you can just, so that's one. And then you can also do this. So maybe this is one that you go first before you do the full circumduction. Okay, so just throw your arms, eventually try to get your arms behind your head. So maybe it just starts like this, okay? And then eventually, arms across the chest, inhale, and then throw the arms back. And also make the cross each time. So loosen up the shoulders. Sorry, I probably should have done this first, but like this one is not too bad. So you can do this and then this one, however many times you want. Next one, arms over the head, roll the body down. Keep the movements nice and easy and soft. Okay. And then coming back up. Okay, so now again with full arm rotations, arms, actually, let's start with this one. So inhale, bring your arms up. Exhale, back down. Or maybe whatever height. If it's just here, then that's fine. Everything's okay, so just don't rush it. Okay, so again, arms up, higher and higher as you get more flexible in your shoulders, as your shoulders starts to freeze. Okay, eventually you'll be able to come all the way over the head and back down. All the way up and down. One more time, and down. Okay, so then next one, arms up. So now turn to the right. Each time the arms, turn to the right, the arms come down. Each time you go to your left, your arms come up. So this might take a little bit of concentration as you're going, as you do this. Sometimes you want to have the arms spinning in opposite directions. Okay, so go to the right, arms come down, you can bend your knees, and then up to your left, re-straighten your legs. So down, right, up, left, down, right, up, left, down, right, up, left. And then of course you switch directions. So down, left, bend your knees, and back up, down, and up. So once you have the much more range of motion, you can do this one. Down, and up. Last time, down, and up. Okay, so then next one, you can take your arms over the head as that's possible, and then bend to one side, come back, shoulders down, go to the other side. Eventually you can hold the poses. So this is actually a pose, it's called half moon. Push your hips out in the opposite direction of where you're bending, and come back, and go to the other side, and come back. And up, and to the right, and up. And then drop the arms down. Shake up the shoulders as you need to, anytime you need to. Okay, next one. I had one in my mind, I'm just trying to think of what I was going to do. Okay, so you can sit on this one as well, and sit on your heels. You bring one arm up, right arm, let's say, take hold of the elbow with your other hand, and push it up and back behind, so your right hand comes down the center of your back. And you can just use the hand to just guide the elbow a little bit higher and back. If it's too much, again, just stay here. And you can just bring both elbows together and just, or not up together, but on the sides of the head, and just go back. If this is where you have to start, then you just stay here. You can also hold a block. If you have a block, you can hold a block between your hands like this. You have a block, so demonstrate. So you want to have it eventually so that your elbows are no wider than the width of the block. The tendency is to do this, and this is what you might have to do at the time being, but eventually you want to have your elbows in the same line as your block. Okay, so your palms are pressing, your fingers are against the edge of the block. You just push it back. You try to push it back. You don't have to bend your arms down. You can just keep your arms level with the floor or the ceiling and just go back. Drop your shoulders down and just hold it there. And then you come back down. You can also work your shoulders the other way. So you stand on your knees, and then you can bring your arm up behind you and back down. Okay, so you press your hands into your block. You come back. You can do this with a strap as well if you don't have a block. And up. Then you try to get to the height of the shoulders and down. And then up, chest forward, and down. One more. Hold it. And down. Okay, so when you get used to that movement, and that's okay, then maybe it makes it more possible to eventually do this one. So again, try to get you roll the arm bone inward, your upper arm in and up. So you always try to move your joints in a way that doesn't torque the joint in a weird way. Okay, so you follow the natural range of movement of your arm, your natural movement of the arm. So pull the elbow in a little bit, roll the arm bone in. You can use your thumb to actually turn the arm outwards a little bit, and then back. And then you can use your left hand, if you're holding the right elbow, to push your arm up a little bit higher and then further back behind your head. So up and drop your shoulder and go down. So up again and then back behind your head. And you can anchor eventually your head, your arm in place at the back of the head. Now this is definitely, for later on, but you roll the hand, the left shoulder forward. Eventually take your hand behind your back. So again, don't force this. Okay, so this could be quite intense. So again, you can take a strap. Hold the strap in one hand, and you start quite low. On the straps, a lot to give, and eventually you walk your hand up higher and higher until eventually you might be able to get as you're pulling on your strap, your fingers might eventually find one another. So be careful again with this one. Push into lower back, into the back of the heart, I should say, and then pull the head back and look up a little bit. Drop your shoulder down, and as you're pulling, try not to allow your body to slouch down, to fall back into your hips. Stay upright. And of course you do the other side. If your eyes are popping out of the head, it might be an indication that you're going a little bit far. Okay, so again, don't go to a place of pain. So again, the other arm now, roll the arm in a little bit, pull the elbow in towards you, and then push it up. And then allow the hand to come down the center of the back. Drop your shoulder down, and you can always just keep your hand there and not take the bind. Eventually you can take the bind, again, using a strap to start. Arm comes, right arm, roll head the shoulder, the right arm in, take hold of the strap, and again, just gradually walk your way up the back. And your hands come closer as you pull on the strap. Closer and closer. Eventually your hands meet. And you lock your fingers together. Your arm should eventually, your elbow should be behind the head. the back of the head is anchor the arm in place, so not out to the side. Okay, now, so the elbow is right behind the center of the head eventually. Push into lower back, into the upper back, into the back of the heart. And then release. So that's that one. And then so you can bring your hand across the body. Use your right hand just underneath, like just in front of the elbow, and then stretch the side. And the other side. So bring the arm out from the out and swing it in like a door. And hold just in like on the upper arm, close the elbow, across the chest. Drop your shoulder down again. If you do this against the wall, it's hard for you. So I don't have a wall, but if you if you can picture standing against the wall, and place your arm on the wall. So you turn like so. You bring your hand on the wall. You stand like my hand's on the wall here, imaginary wall. You stand with your feet like this, and you just lean forward a little bit into your left, it's like if my left hand's on a wall, you lean forward with your left leg a little bit, and you just try to bring your shoulders forward and turn your body away from the wall. Okay. It's hard for me to show because I don't have a wall exactly. And back, and of course you do the other way. So your feet are parallel to one another. Your right hand's on the wall behind you, sort of, and then you lean to the right, towards the right leg. Your hand is flat against the wall, and they come back and release. Okay, so you can also do this on the ground. So now downward facing dog is a good pose to do to open up the shoulders. But before you do downward facing dog, you do heart melting pose. So your knees and your hips in the same line. You can walk it. You start with your hands. Actually, you can, just get the movement to warm up. You can start child pose, come into table and back. And you'll see what range of motion you have with your shoulders. So maybe if it's just here, then it's okay. You just stay here. You can come onto your fingertips, pull your seat back as much as you can, bring the forehead down and your seat all the way back. So this is still a shoulder opener. Roll the upper arm outwards. Okay, so away from others. So the eyes, the elbows are facing outward, up as much as can. Okay, so and you start here. And then move up into table, flatten your hands, come back. You just hold this. Push your seat all the way back, lengthen as much as you can. Draw your shoulders down, away from the ears. And come back. Okay, so from there you can progress into heart melting pose. So your hands from table, you scoot your hands one hand's length in front. And you have to gauge this. So what you're trying to do is trying to melt your chest down, your belly down towards the ground. Your belly stays close to your thighs. So you might need to walk your hands a little bit further forward. And then try to keep your seat over your seat over your knees. So I'm still too close. Can't get but again, you just go according to your condition. So maybe this is where you stop. Eventually you walk your hands even further apart. And see if you can get your chest down on the ground. And your belly stays close to your thighs. Sometimes it might not be possible to have your chest and your chin on the ground. So you come onto your forehead. You just try to roll the shoulders outwards a little bit, okay? So create space, the chest stays open. You can modify this according to what your shoulder mobility is. Eventually, though, you have your chest on the ground, your belly right against almost right against your thighs, and your chin on the ground. So it's that's essentially the final pose that you're getting to. But you might be here for a little while. Okay, so next, downward facing dog. So your hands are underneath your shoulders, push your toes back. And for downward facing dog, so this is mountain pose. Your back is straighter from your seat all the way to your hands, a straight line. But downward facing dog, it's like a dog stretching its back. So you're trying to press your chest down towards the ground, your head below the arms. Your belly is coming towards the thighs. You try to get your head down below the arms. Okay, eventually your forehead on the ground. So my back is curved. The back looks like a slide in the playground, steep at the top and shallow at the front. So again, you have to sort of work towards this. So you come into plank and maybe go back with your seat and just press your shoulders back a little bit and your chest down. So do that again with caution. Okay, so just work towards that. Eventually you'll be able to come down, but the puppy, the heart melting pose is your precursor to it. Okay, so other poses you can do is called threading the needle. So you start in table, and this is sort of like, since I don't have a wall, I was going to demonstrate this one. So you bring the right arm through underneath. So you can bend your left arm, you slide your right arm underneath, try to get the back of the shoulder on the ground, the head on the ground. And then you try to get your hand further through, so it's a little bit of a twist too. You push your hips over towards your left, towards your right, and then you try to slide your hand further through, so more the back of the shoulder blades on the ground. And you come through, and you go to the other side. So you bend your right elbow out to so from the front, you bend your elbows out like this. Okay, and you go to the other side. Your left arm goes underneath, the left side, the head's on the ground, and you keep scooching. Your hips come over towards the left, away from the direction that you're going underneath with your left arm. And try to get as much of the back of the shoulder on the mat as possible. And then you come back. So eventually, this is called sort of a dragonfly. You bring your arms across your chest, so you can start off by just seated, and you know how you have when you can sort of feel the the edges of your shoulder blades, sort of your scapula, and you just try to pull them apart from one another. So when you wrap your arms across the front of your chest, one up on top of the other, you just pull in the opposite, away, your shoulder blades away from one another. You drop your shoulders down. Okay, so if this is where you're at right now, then you can stay doing this, and it opens up the upper back. Eventually, you can do this on the ground with your arms open. Let's say your left arm is in front, or left arm's in front. You come down, and then you get your arms underneath your chest and your hands on the ground. You can bring your chin down in front, and you can stay the seat up, or you can come eventually lying all the way onto your belly. And you might need to move your arms up a little bit, actually, where they're comfortable. So it's different for everybody, women, it's a little bit, you might have to have them up higher, a little bit over your chest. Okay, so your chin is just resting on top of your arms close to the shoulders here. And then you switch. You come up, your other arm's in front now. So yeah, so if you're doing that on the ground, it's closer to your the top of the chest, so you can bring your chin right sort of in between your just in a nest of where your elbows come across. Okay, so you go out to the side, and then you just stay here. Try to squeeze your hands out as far as you can. Forehead down. And we come. Okay, so you're working different areas of the shoulders. Downward facing dog is sort of in this area here. in the upper back. And this one is working like a little bit like in this area here. You'll feel it in this area here, in the shoulder joint, a little bit lower down as well. And so, you know, it can eventually go into like stuff like triangle or extended side angle. So warrior actually starting from like this position, go to warrior. So turn, let's say the right foot forward, and you try to have your arms level with the shoulders. Just hold it there. So this improves your strength of the arms, the torso. And if you can't go down as far with your hips, then just stop where you can. Eventually your hip is in line with your knee, you have your arms level. And then from here you can do exalted warrior. Your left hand comes to your back leg, your left leg, your right arm goes over the head. And then you can come into side angle. So your right arm is on your right thigh, your left arm is over the head, draw your shoulder down. So it's not a triangle, your hip and a foot and a hand in the same line. Okay. Then you can take your left arm behind the back, so roll head and shoulder forward, lean forward, and see if you can take your hand, lift your body up a little bit on your thigh, and pull the thigh outwards. And then you can push the left shoulder back. Eventually, your shoulder will open up a little bit more. And the next step is eventually the bind. So your left shoulder comes down, but before we do the bind, let's do easy triangle. So the arms come out, your left hand comes down. If you can't get your arm up all the way, so side angle is nice because like your arm's at an angle, but so triangle's the next one. So you might start with your left hand on the side of the foot, your legs are like a box, bend the toes under the back foot. And you can maybe start here. If you can't get your hand up, then that's okay. You start here. Eventually you might be able to take your hand to your shoulder and use your hand to guide the arm back, your shoulder back. Next step, your arm comes behind your back. Again, you lift your body up a little bit. So it's sort of like what we were doing the side angle. Your hand comes on the thigh, at the top of the thigh, and roll the shoulder out. Okay. And then to get this shoulder, your hand almost starts in front of the body and you sweeps it up. You use your hand to pull the shoulder back as much as you can. Eventually, maybe you can get your arm up all the way. Okay. And then eventually you might be able to take the bind. So your right shoulder comes underneath your leg. You have to move your elbow in a little bit. So that, and you drop your shoulder below the line of the knee so the right arm can go underneath the back. And maybe you stay down like this, your left arm eventually goes behind your back, and then you hold your hands. So your hands are not around the seat. So you drop your shoulder down, your arm goes underneath the leg, and you can use a strap here as well. So if you can't get the full bind, use a strap. And you walk hands again closer and closer until you eventually get the bind. The left shoulder goes back, in this case. And eventually, you can raise the left knee up. And then you can eventually move your wrist to your wrist. And pull the left shoulder back. Keep your head down so you're not too much strain on your shoulder. Okay, so you're moving progressively. So your head is down like that before you're doing the bind or with the strap, whatever. Then you can bend your right knee. And then you can try to move your left shoulder back a little bit more. Okay, so these are all progressions. And of course you do it on either side. Okay, so you start off, warrior, arms level, go to your left. Extend your arms, try to keep your arms level with the ground. Maybe you come up a little bit higher actually. Okay. Reach. So you can turn the palms up, lift the arms, and then press your arms down at the same time. Extend shoulders. Reach, 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 reach. And then the left forearm goes onto your left thigh. The right arm goes over the head. Then you can bring your arm forward and down like this. And try to get the arm above the ear, the head above the head. So So notice how the line is not straight from the foot all the way to hand. There's a discontinuity there. So you want to have your arm in the same line as the rest of your leg. Draw your shoulder back, the right shoulder. Then from here, you can maybe take your hand behind your back, roll. You can lean forward, you can use your left hand to guide your right hand to your thigh. If it doesn't, just take it on your seat and push your right shoulder back. Okay, so it doesn't have to go all the way around your body to your thigh. If it's not there yet, just place your hand on your seat and push your right shoulder back. Sorry, I'm thinking these as I'm going along. Okay, so now from here, you can come down onto your right knee. So again, your legs are like a box, toes bent under back foot. And then from here, left hand down. Right arm stays on the seat. Push your right shoulder back. Push the left shoulder against the inside of the knee, so it's anchored in place. Then you can take the right hand to your shoulder and see if you can use your hand to guide the shoulder up a little bit. Keep pushing the inside of the shoulder against the back, the inside of the knee, the back of the shoulder, left shoulder. And you maybe can bring your arm behind your back, lift your body up a little bit. So you can get your left hand to guide your right hand to your thigh. And start with a half bind. Eventually, after that, you lower your shoulder down, bring your shoulder in as well, so that when your shoulder is down below the line of the knee, your arm can go under a little bit more easily. Okay, so arm goes under and then over. Your palm is up. It comes over on the outside, the left side of the seat. And maybe you can, again, take a strap if you need to. Eventually, you might be able to lock your fingers together or even take the wrist and then move the right shoulder back. Keep pushing left shoulder against the inside of the knee. And the next step maybe is to lift your knee up off the ground. Keep your head low. Keep your head down. And you eventually be able to pull on the arm a little bit to get the right shoulder back. And then from here, you move into the side angle. So from here, you bend your knee and you slide your right foot back and you try to push your shoulder back. And your shoulder, your foot, your hip in the same line. Pose, come down. Okay, so then it's called crescent moon. I've got to do that. I've just realized I've got to do this one. Okay, so from warrior two, sorry about that. You bring your right hand to the back leg. And you can go there. And then into your side angle. And you can do a few iterations of that. Okay. And then come down. So now we're going into, I can't remember which side I did first. Anyways, let's say we did the right foot first. And then from here, crescent moon. So you bring your seat all the way down. If you need to, you fold your mat over or put a cushion underneath your knee. But if you bring your seat all the way forward, then you'll be able to get your hips, you won't feel it underneath so much. But it's not about the knee, it's more about the rest of it. So your hands to start can stay on the knee, pull the shoulders back, allow the head to drop back. Push your lower back up and in. So you don't want to have any crunch in your lower back. So you're trying to elongate the spine. Push your chest forward and up, allow the head to go back. Then you can tap your hands on your seat. Pushing your seat, pull down. Roll the shoulders up and back. Try to get your elbows closer together. And use your hands to shape the back body. So your seat, your heels are planted on the seat, your fingers are up, just, pushing into, as we're trying to push the whole rib basket up. And trying to remove all this, the wrinkles in your skin underneath your hands. As you try to bring your elbows together. Next step, Roll shoulders forward, lean forward, interlace your fingers, squeeze palms together, and then pull your hands down. Drop your head back. Okay. Next, you might be able to eventually take your arms up, take hold of your opposite elbows, allow the head to rest in your arms, drop your shoulders down. And finally, your hands together, interlace your fingers, draw your shoulders down, and then maybe it starts here, right? You might know not to get your arms behind your head. Eventually, as your range of motion improves, you do more downward facing dogs, you'll be able to get your arms beside your ears, maybe eventually behind your head. Okay, and then drop your shoulders down. You have a good downward facing dog. Eventually, you'll be able to bring arms behind. But this is quite deep, so push your chest forward, lift your lower back up. Again, don't not crunch your lower back. Keep tall. Push your lower back up and in, and then you'll find a curve. And then release. Go on the other side, of course. Push your seat forward. Start with your hands on your knee. Drop your shoulders down. Allow the head to just drop back. Just look up. The shoulders come down, away from the ears. And then come back up. You can always use your hands to help your head back up. Your hands can come onto your lower back. Push into your heels, your palms into the seat. Push up with your fingertips and try to get your elbows closer together behind your back. Keep lifting up the chest. Push your lower back up and in. Eventually, you can take your arms up. Take hold of opposite elbows, or even your head, your hands like to your ears, and push your elbows out. Okay, so again, you start with this. So again, you need just feel it out. If it's too much to have your elbows over your head, then you just do this modification for the time, bring your elbows out to the side like so. And then you can hold your head, or take hold of your opposite elbows, allow the head to rest back in your arms. And then finally, hands up. Reach up, imagine your arms start at your hips, pulling everything up out of the hips, drop your shoulders down. Again, you might start here, your head up, or eventually you'll be able to get your arms a little bit closer up over your head, maybe beside your ears. Eventually, if you drop your shoulders down, rock your shoulders back and forth, you might be able to get your arms behind your head. So a lot of people definitely don't get here very fast. So this will take some time, but eventually you'll be able to get your arms way back there. Keep your arms straight, trying to bend your arms. Keep your arms straight. Okay, take your hands to your head and come back. Press into the front knee. And run from here. Rest. So you don't have to do all these exercises every day, obviously. Do whatever you feel is appropriate for you, and just try to work the whole range of motion. One last one. So arms out to the side, the right elbow over the left, intertwine the forearms, press the palms together and push the elbows in front of the shoulders. Okay, and stay here. You can move a little bit, bring the elbows in to widen the upper back. And then as far as you can go, you can bring the elbows up. Past the line of the shoulders. Okay, so you start here, eventually raise them up a little bit higher, and then round your back, tuck your chin in and push your elbows into your belly, towards your navel, and come back. And then wrap around the other side, arms out to the side, left elbow over the right, intertwine the forearms, press the palms together, and you can just stay with your elbows in front of your chest. Feel the shoulder blades separating from one another. And then again, keep pulling your elbows in, round your back, tuck your chin in. So you can bring your elbows up higher than the shoulders, the head goes back, heart lifts, and again into your belly. and up. And back. And hold this always here. And then let me shake out the shoulders. Just give a little time in between the poses as well to rest. Okay, so long as you get more comfortable, you can still stay in the poses longer. But for now, just, go according to how you feel. Okay, so I hope that helped. And let me know how it goes. Good luck, and let me know if I can be of service to you again. Thank you.